Hello everybody, it's Philip out here at Hamilton Native Outpost, and today is the day that we head out and start to find all the poison hemlock in all of our farms. And they're all in the nooks and the crannies and things. So what we're doing is we're heading out to find them and to cut them down. Uh, this way we are going to do this without any chemical use. That way it gets done and there's no like extra overspray you have to worry about. It's way cheaper because you're not having to pay for fuel. It's just manpower walking around the whole farm on the edges and stuff, which it's good to check out your place anyways. Today is June 8th and we are heading out to cut the poison hemlock. If you do it too early in the year, it's got plenty of time to rejuvenate, send up another shoot, and go ahead and make seed. So then you've just wasted your time running around trying to find them or dig them up. And it's got a really impressive root system. And if you don't get it all and just one little hair is still attached, it will continue to grow and outcompete the rest of your crop, especially your natives. It'll choke those out. But along the edge of this production field over here, we've got a little grove of trees. It's actually an old cemetery. And that's where all this hemlock started, I assume. And so it was in here, and we didn't control it for a few years, and this whole field ended up getting filled with poison hemlock. And instead of spraying it all, we tried one year, we let it go until it got to about this stage where some of the flowers have finished, and you can start to see the pollen is already done and it's just starting to form a few seeds. Another really, the best way that I've noticed to do this is time-wise is that the bottom leaves start to turn yellow. So once the very bottom ones start to really yellow up and start to kind of fade, that works out to be a really good time that we found to go ahead and cut it all down below that leaf. That way it does not have enough energy to restart and doesn't have enough time to try to make seed one more time. So anyways, what our experiment was is this whole field was full, and instead of just doing it by hand, we used a sickle mower and we just mowed it all down. I was just driving through it. It was about head high when I was on the tractor, and we just mowed it down, and there has not been much of any out there in the field since then. That was 2 years ago. And then we come through here and we do inside this old cemetery area by hand. So you can see that it's a little less effective. We might miss something, perhaps a small rosette or something. And also maybe there's some seed bank left over. But we just don't want it to build up in there and spill out into the production field because it is really good at absorbing all the sunlight and choking out any of the native things that are below it. It takes up a lot of space and a lot of water, so it really outcompetes the natives that would be in this field normally. And you know, of course, it's toxic. You don't want to be touching it and then licking your fingers or anything like that. So we'll use safety goggles, mask. If the pollen is really bad, we'll put those on. That way we're not getting it in our eyes. We're trying to be real conscious of where it goes. It's not so dangerous that you look at it and you'll pass out and die, but it is pretty toxic, and you want to be careful and be mindful of it. All right, a couple of reasons why we don't like to spray the poison hemlock is that it's a broadleaf, of course. So if we go to try to use chemical on it out here in this field, and if we spray that, it's also going to get the other broadleaves, which are a crop in some of our fields. So like this one, we've got some black-eyed Susan sweet. That's in here, along with some grasses. And then, of course, who knows what else long-term damage that those chemicals are going to do. So it's anytime we can avoid it, we definitely try to keep from doing that. And this has been a very effective the last few years of really controlling these and keeping them from being in the seed bank anymore. or adding to the seed bank anymore, and also keeping it out of the seed that you all purchase and put in your fields. All right, so on our roguing crew, we've got a couple of choices that we end up using. We've got a long-handled machete. It's a little rough looking, but it's done the best job, probably because it's got a long handle. You can kind of swing it down kind of low. We also can use a pickaxe, but you kind of have to get right on the poison hemlock. You got to push it over, and then you got to chop it with this. That's a little heavier. You got to carry it all day. So that one's pretty good. What I really enjoy using is I've got this old style scythe that I'll take out in the field with me, and that's what I'm going to actually cut, like especially big swaths and areas of it. It's got one of the thicker blades on it. I'm not sure what style it's called, but I got this at an antique shop, and it's worked great for all kinds of projects. And so that's what I'm going to use to get rid of a bunch of the poison hemlock today. So I can leave some of the things up. We've got some yellow wing stem and ironweed, some goldenrods, things like that can stay. It gives me enough room to get around it. We got some deer tongue panicum that got to be left behind. And since this is a biennial weed, I'm also going to see some first year rosettes that doesn't make the seed every year. It's every other year. So the seed banks that's in the ground, that's what's coming up. And there's not much of any out here. We'll walk through there, and there may be a handful in that field. But it's been so thick in here for so long, that's why we've had so many. Down here we've got, this is a first year, just the first leaves that it sends up. This will be the first year. It'll build up energy in that root, and then it'll die over winter, or not die, but die back. And the root will be sleeping over the winter, and then next year, we can cut this, but the root has already started. It's going to do its process this year. Next year, this one will come up and make a flower and try to make seed. And what we'll try to do is come back before it makes that seed and knock it out. And so I wanted to show you a poison hemlock. Here you go. Poison hemlock. You've got the white umbels. You can see how they're kind of flat across the top, but at the side you can see how they kind of sprangle up in that direction. And that one, you can compare that to the parsley, hedge parsley here. Looks really, really similar, right? It's got kind of a flat across the top and sprangled on the bottom. Let me pull this one off. We'll put them next to each other. So it's a little brighter white, the parsley on the left and your poison hemlock on the right. Also, the stem on this parsley is very woody and a little rough to the touch. And then compared to your poison hemlock, it's very smooth. And this one also has, the poison hemlock will have splotches of red, or it'll be red, where the parsley will not have any of that color. This will just be green. And so you can kind of see the shape. When you do it a couple of times, you start to really kind of see them. You can spot them from across the field pretty easily. That's why I bring my binoculars, and that way I can check across the field. I don't have to walk every square inch. And now the other lookalike is the Queen Anne's lace. So here we're looking at the poison hemlock again. I'll bring a Queen Anne's lace over right next to it. The heads are way, way bigger. And also the stem of the Queen Anne's lace is very rough and actually hairy, especially earlier on in the season when they're both young and it's hard to identify it at that point. It's really hairy on the bottom of the stems. There you go, you can see a few. It's not as hairy as it was in the early spring, but it's too early in the spring to cut it down. All right, one more kind of look-alike, especially when you're just learning about ID in plants. This is Common Ragweed right there. That's a native. It's definitely one of those first things that come in a planting. So if you're getting seed from us, sometimes you will contend with that, but there are ways to take care of that. And then I just wanted to show you next to it, this is the poison hemlock. Now, granted, the color is way different right now. It's normally not that yellow, but when it is yellow, then you can definitely tell. You can see that on the right, the common ragweed is just a little more, I would say, open in between the lobes. And on this poison hemlock, it's a little bit tighter. You can see there's less space in between, as opposed to in here, you can see there's a little more space in between. So it's one of those kind of lookalikes. When you get used to it, you definitely, it's like, yeah, that's not the same. Another good way to compare your sizes and how to ID a poison hemlock versus a Queen Anne's lace or a hedge parsley. We've got, here's your Queen Anne's lace. It is about hip high. So there you go. If I move along this direction, I've got some little prairie parsley. And now that is probably just below my hip, not quite as tall as the Queen Anne's lace. And now we've got your poison hemlock over here, and it's just above my head, actually. So it gets really tall, and that's an easy way to tell at this point of the year of where your poison hemlock is. And you can see them all the way across your field typically. Then when you get close, you can also see that spotted red spots on a green smooth stem. Make sure you go ahead and send us any of your questions. You can call the office and ask. You can also put comments below, and we are happy to help you out, figure what you need to do in your pastures, your savannas, what applications work great for your environment, and that way we can all enjoy more and more natives and less invasive species, and really enjoy some biodiversity. I'm going to go cut those down next.
We at Hamilton Native Outpost make these videos to share the unique knowledge that we have gained from over 40 years of working with native plants as we raise and sell native grass and wildflower seeds. If you found this video helpful, we need your help to get the message out. Please subscribe, share, like, and comment. It helps others to find us. Thank you.